Okay, so many of you had this doubt on Halo Pyramid. So Halo Pyramid is some fancy name given. So if you see the sample input on you're supposed to print this kind of pattern. So basically, they're expecting this. They're giving some input as 4. So if you look at this pattern, which is not at all matching for this 4, right? So 4 is nothing but number of rows or columns, whatever you can assume. So here, first line of input is it's an integer that refers number of lines in the pattern. So 4 is nothing but number of rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here you also need columns, right? So you need to do some assumptions and get this pattern printing. So let me show you how to get this pattern. So to print this pattern, right? To print this pattern, so to print this pattern, you should observe that there are 4 rows and there are 8 columns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So 7 columns, and you have 4 rows. Okay. So if you observe, yeah. So if 4 is the input, you have 7 columns, 6B, 1 star, right? Total 7 columns and 4 rows. Okay. So to get this pattern printed or this kind of pattern printed, you need to write a specific code. You already know it's a two-dimensional array. So basic input, right? Input or output operations, you already know how to take it. So just for our assumptions, let us say we'll get scanner as an input to read the input. Okay. Scanner SC equal to new scanner of. So here you have system dot dot in. Okay. So read the input. So what you need is basically some integer input, right? Enter some value, enter n value. Okay. So you are using this sc dot next int of. So you are storing this value in a variable called as n. Okay. Let us assume you have a variable called as n. So this is basically number of rows that you have in your pattern that you're printing. Okay. So here number of rows are 4. So you can assume it as 4. Okay. Then you have unit columns to be printed. So there should be some logic in which you print the columns. So while I was explaining a two-dimensional array, I already told you that there are two inner for loops. One is for the number of rows, and other is for number of columns. So let us go there and write the code. So before I do that, I try to divide this into 2 parts. This pattern of 2 parts. So imagine there is A. So you can see here you have BBBB to be printed as a decreasing triangle, and you have again another pattern of BBB printed as a decreasing triangle, and you have increasing triangle of I as a alphabet given here. Okay, so to achieve this, basically I need a two-dimensional matrix that is inner for loop for inside of for. So what is the basic condition? Basically, you need to have some two integers as an input. So for I is equal to 0, I less than, what is the value you need to assume? So here the value that you can assume or you can take this directly the number n that you're ready. So instead of doing that, you can also choose um, declaring or storing this value in that you already wrote, already read into two variables called as a and b. So you can just divide this entire pattern into two halves, that is decreasing triangle, decreasing triangle. You can think that as a and b, and you can store value n. Commonly, you can store this value n whatever you read in this a and b. Okay. Later, you have int a is equal to 0, a less than n. So that is the outer for loop. the number of rows. Okay, I plus plus number of rows. Okay, so now first it will check the condition, come into the loop, into the looping condition. So here you are just not leaving it here, you are writing another inner for loop. This is to print the column, right? So you already know it will take another variable called as j is equal to 0, j less than. So here what is the condition that I need to look for, or how many times this column should repeat, right? So you already know here I don't have any columns input taking. I have only n value. So, but if you see the pattern, it is not at all matching the n. It is actually double of n, right? So what you can do, double of n or minus 1, right? You have mm, 7 here. So if you double this, yeah, n value, whatever you read, you get 8. You don't need 8 columns, you need 7 columns. So something you can just choose a logic to get it done. So what is that? 2 into n is basically the logic. But here I'm using less than instead of using less than or equal to, so that I get that exact value to be uh, like, 2 into n value. Means I need 8 columns is what I am just declaring it. Okay. And also need something like, or you can also choose another pattern where you don't need to give this as I as 0. You can start it from I is equal to 1. You can start I is equal to 1. Here you can say 2 into n minus 1. So all that is your wish. You can choose anything that you like. So here you can say j plus plus. So this is the inner for loop to print the column. Okay. So if you closely observe the number of rows and columns, if you just observe the first column, right, or the first row here. So what you are supposed to print, you have to print BBB, and you need to print a star in between and then BBB. So the pattern is something like this. So uh, but you already know I am taking two variables A and B because I have this decreasing triangle and this decreasing triangle. So I need to write some logic in order to print the stars or all, star or, and also I have to write I. So basically there are three if conditions that I need to take. A conditional statement I need to take in order to print this exact pattern that we are looking here. So this prints 8 columns. So if you just want to see how does it print, you can just go and print system.out.println and just print a star and see how does this print. Okay, and just try to run this and see how does the pattern look like. If you give 4 as the number, so it is printing everything in one common line. So this is not what is expected. So what we can do, we can just use println method, and here you can just write print, sorry, there print method and here println method, and you don't give anything. So if you don't want to print anything, okay. So now if you run it, now you can give value 4. Now you get this pattern. So it looks promising that you need 4 columns. Okay, 4 columns, and here you need a number of 4 rows and number of columns is 7. So check if it is printing 7 or 8. Yeah, now it is printing 4, 4. Okay, it is printing 10. So according to this, you need to make the changes and get that exact column count printed. Okay, so that is your first, what is it, rule that you need to follow. So here you have now 8, I think 8 values being printed. So you don't even want 8, you want 7. So you can just give I 2 into n minus 1. So this gets you printed with 7 values. That's as you expected. So now the looping construct is done, right? I have, so here you want to make these stars as B and these stars as B, and I want to keep the star just like that. Then, and this star to the left side, you want star, and again to that, you need star. The last row should be just stars. You don't want to change this. Only this pattern only you need to change. Okay. For that, now I will write the logic. So this is not required. Just for your reference, I wrote the star. I'll remove the stars and write the exact logic, or you can think of a logic there. Okay. So what is the first logic? You can think of having this split. So I want this value to be at the center, star to be at the center, three B's set to the left and three B's to the right. So what is the logic you can think of? You can think of an if condition where you have these values, like you have the loop value I and you have the loop value j. With these two things only, you are supposed to write the logic, right? There is nothing else which has values with it. So I equal to uh, n. So what is n? N is the input that you took, and the value is 4, right? So if I is equal to n, means when I reaches the value n, then you are supposed to print something. So what is that something that you need to print? Is nothing but star, because when the value is 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the middle value where you want to print that to be a star, right? Or there may be some more conditions that you can add up. Okay. So here you can just write an or condition, or then you have this j, right? Maybe the column wise, means there are some places where in this column you're printing, and again in this column, and in this column starts you're printing. Means optionally you're printing that. So you can just take that A and B split we took, right? So the left side we have A split, and to the right side we have B split. B split. So I can just take if A is equal, J is equal to A, or you can also have to the right side you want J to be equal to C. If any of this condition matches, then you are supposed to print star, right? So system dot out dot print, I not println, so you just need to print, and here you need to print the value star. So when you will print this, whenever the values are equal to n or a or b, any of these conditions you are supposed to print. Okay, so it is saying to initialize. I'm just initializing both a as well as b is equal to n, so that we will have a common value. Um, yeah, once this is done, now you know the patterns of A. So how A is printed, you know. So what happens? The first row, it is coming inside, means I value will be 0, and it comes inside, J value is 0. Then I'm checking this condition. Now, if this condition is not matching, obviously, if I is equal to 0, J is equal to 0, this condition doesn't match, right? Doesn't match. So what else, right? So else you need to check for else if. So what else you need to print? You need to print I, right? So for that, what is the condition? So if A is less than J, right? And A, A is less than J and J is less than B. Okay. So why did I write this condition? Just observe. Now where you need to print this I. Okay. So when A is less than J and both the conditions will be true. Okay, A is less than J. What is A? Initially, A value is 4. 4 is obviously less than J in the first iteration because J is 0. So but this condition is not true because J value is 0 now. So J is less than B. Okay, so this condition is also true. Okay, so then you need to print system dot out dot print, not print ln, just print. You are supposed to print this value I. Okay, this value I. Now, will this condition be matched in the first iteration? No, because uh, you have I value and J value both are 0, starting from 0. So A is less than 0, you are checking this condition fails. So this will not be executed now, but later point of time it is the logic that we need. Okay. Else, if nothing matches, then just print system dot out dot print, just print your B. Okay. Your B. Okay. So you know, and just write B, we'll just write string representation of B. Okay, so this is what happens every row, right? After every row, your columns are changing, right? Okay, for example, in the first row it is BBB star BBB. After that, the second row you have star it is slightly left position. So what should happen? A should decrement, right? A should decrement, and here B in the B side it is in towards the right. So B should increment because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So B is incrementing and A is decrementing. So this side we took it as A and this side we took it as B, right? So towards B it should be incrementing, towards A it should be decrementing. So what you should do here is after this loop, right? After this loop, just go out of that loop in this print lm statement. So here you just write A minus minus because towards A I need to decrement and towards B what I should do? I should increment. It is uh, plus plus operator to the right side and minus minus to the left side. Okay. So this logic is what you need to get this pattern printed. Okay. So let us go and try and see if this works. So I'm just running this demo file and giving the value 5 and see. Okay. Now it is printing the pattern, but somewhere it is going wrong. Maybe I'll just give and again the value as 4 and let us see somewhere this values are going wrong. Okay, so what is wrong in this? Uh, the last row is generally different stars. So maybe we have not captured this logic. Okay, so we need to capture this logic as well to get that exactly printed with that pattern value. But you can see the matching pattern is getting printed. Maybe we should work on some logic that we are missing here. Okay. Um, and then run it. Value is 4. And okay, the last row is not printing that stars. Okay. So where we are printing this, so this is the logic to print that star, right? I is equal to n, and j is equal to a, and b is equal to. So this is fine, and I'll just remove this and try this 4. Okay, now you're getting this pattern, just getting that pattern getting printed, but all that you need is this value, whatever you have, should be stars. Okay, this should not have some values. Okay, so for that you can write some condition and limit it, right? So you want that exact value to be there, then you can just go and limit this logic where you are able to get this. But in the expected output, whatever they are saying, maybe some values are not matching because they are giving 4 as the input. See here, you have 3 towards the left and 3 towards the right, then 2, then 1, then all stars. So maybe I'm not printing the exact logic, but yeah, so this is the approach that you need to follow to get this printed. Okay. Okay. So let's try to solve this. Okay. So things where we are going wrong. Um, so I is less than so less than or equal to n. Less than or equal to n. Um, one, one. Maybe yeah, I think you will get the same pattern, but all that you need is be here and see here. So we are having another 2 iterations more than the normal iterations to be done. Okay. But now you can see you are able to print this star here, stars in the output. Um, Maybe you can start your iteration loop with one, so that you will have one iteration less than what you are expecting. So one column would be reduced for that. So now you're getting three in the left, but somewhere in the right you are having four values. So the left side part is fixed. You can see you are able to print PBB, BB. Okay, so this part is fixed. Only towards the right, you are missing some logic. So what is that logic that you're missing? You just need to check. Um, um, what's the right is B, right? So then not equal to B. I think we can check the equation with the other test cases, so they're not missing. Okay? If we are having five, okay, five is the input, then you are supposed to get four in the left and four in the right, and one at the center. Okay, maybe we'll check with this five and see if we're missing any logic. So I'll check with five. Yeah, four in the left, but five at the right is getting center. So one column is extra here. So this column, whatever we are seeing, this is extra. So maybe a column printing logic is somewhere which is going wrong. So we'll just add -1, so that we need one column less than what we were having before. Okay. So now I think we will get the exact, yeah, so this is the exact pattern that we need. Okay. So hope this is visible for all of you. The entire program is visible for all of you. So just check this. In case you have any doubt, you can ask me in the chat window. Okay. So check this and ask some doubts if you have this pattern.